And when I say irritable, I mean like he has just been wanting to argue about the smallest little things. And at this point, I'm doing everything I can not to argue with him. Like, literally, I set up his schedule so that he's at work all day. And by the time he gets home, everything is done. Everything's taken care of. And he just got to do his routine. He come in the house. I'm finishing up his dinner. Blunts rolled in the bathroom. You take your shower. You smoke. You come out. You eat. And I go in the room. Because at this point, by the time you get home, I'm already tipsy, almost drunk. Because I can't be drunk because he hated when he came in the house and I was drunk. Because I talk a lot when I drink. I know, I talk a lot when I don't drink. So just imagine me drinking. I talk a lot. So he hated it. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to just be tipsy when he get home. By the time I finish his dinner, by the time he's out the shower and everything, I had my couple of shots. It ain't gonna kick in until I'm in the room laying down anyway. So, yeah, by the time I'm drunk, I'm laying down anyway. So, yeah. So, he was just coming home very irritable. I don't know what was going on. I know that he was training my best friend, Ronnie. Like, my male guy best friend, my gay best friend. He was training him remotely. So, every day, D would come in, like, ask me, oh, have you seen Ronnie his workouts? And I'm just like, Ronnie's paying you to be his trainer, not me. Ronnie knows that I'm not his trainer. Like, he's like, okay, but send him his workouts. Just you can send him his workouts. I'm like, if I'm sending him his workouts, like, you're not training him face to face because he's in Georgia and we're in Maryland. You're training him remotely. You're not his trainer. I would be considered his trainer. He was just like, look, I need you to send him his workout and the new client her remote workout. I'm just like, okay. Now I'm setting up how these workouts are supposed to go. So I'm like, all right, D, what are they supposed to be working on today? All right, what do you want me to do? So he then starts to tell me to go over my notes to look at the goals for the clients and what they have already been doing since, starting the program. And I'm like, so you want me to do my research on your clients to develop a workout plan for them, And he was just like, you ain't developing a plan for you. Just let me know the workout you want to do with them, and then I'll let you know if it's good or not. So just, you come up with a workout, tell me what the workout is, and I'll let you know if it's good or not. I was like, well, so how long the workout got to be? He was like, well, Ron is typically in the gym for 2 hours. I'm like, you want me to come up with a 2-hour workout? Like, what? He was like, look, just make it an hour, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. Just do that. He's just always in the gym that long. And I'll never understand why he in the gym that long, but that's your gay ass friend. I'm like, okay. All right, I'll figure that out. Okay. So I end up texting, my friend Ronnie, and was just like, okay, so this is going to be your workout for the day. And he was just like, everything okay with D? I'm like, yeah, everything is fine with him. I was like, why? He was like, because we were supposed to have our video conference to check in, and he never, contacted me. And I've been calling him to talk about this nutrition, like what am I supposed to be eating? And he said he was going to put me on some supplements, start me on some supplements that I'm supposed to be taking, and the type of protein I'm supposed to be taking. And I was like, he didn't do all that. He was supposed to do that week 1. He was like, no. He told me to wait a while. He wanted my body to get used to the workout, and then he was going to introduce me to the supplements. So did he tell you what supplements I'm supposed to be taking? I'm like, no. Hold on. Let me figure it out. So I called D. I was like, hey, Ronnie said you were supposed to be telling him some supplements to take. Like, I don't know. He was just like, look, just let that fat ass nigga know that, look, I'm going to get to him with the supplements. He need to first get his diet under control because he ain't even got his diet under control. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, he fat, D, but that's why he in the program. So you didn't have to say fat. It's like, out of everything I said, you want to talk about that part? I'm like, you right, D. You're right. You're right. He's like, so you trying to argue with me? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to argue with you. You said you gonna tell him the supplements later. All right, heard. I'll let him know that he gonna get the supplements later. All right, everything good on your end? You like, everything's fine. Why you trying to rush me off the phone? I'm not trying to rush you off the phone. I just know that you're a busy man, and I don't want to keep you for too long. Okay, all right. Because I know how you can get when it comes to your clients, and I'm cutting into your time. You answer my question. That's all I needed. Okay, everything good? He was like, yeah, when you going door dashing? I was like, I'm about to go in a minute. Because, you know, Kion is like winding down. So I'm going to start door dashing. When he's winding down, I can give him his tablet. He's not in the car crying. Because at this point, by the time I get on like my 5th order of dashing, Kion is irritable because he's sitting in that back seat and just like, all right, I'm tired of this. So like, I'm trying to keep him entertained and dealing with his crying and then his yelling and the screaming. I'm just like, I'm a DoorDash later. Okay? I'm a DoorDash later. And he was just like, okay, all right. And he's like, have you looked into any more loans? And then I looked over at the whiteboard because at this point I'm standing in the kitchen. I look over at the whiteboard and I see that the form that he needed to get filed in is still sitting on the whiteboard. So I'm like, I've been looking. I'm gonna keep looking because since you know, you got that on your record and it's not off your record yet, like I'm trying to like hint to him, like, look, I see this form sitting on the whiteboard. You ain't filed it in yet. Like, since that, you know, you got that on your record, it ain't off your record yet. I got to see like who will work with you, you know, because I'm sure there are some programs like some banks that work with felons, maybe. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So he's like, all right, so just let me know, because I had to turn the Pepco on at the gym. I was like, you had to turn the Pepco on. The Pepco is the gas, the energy, the gas at the gym. And I'm like, why you had to turn it on? That the gym ain't gonna be ready for a while. He's like, well, they gotta go in and start doing construction. So I had to get that turned on. I'm just like, you know what? That makes sense. It makes sense. But damn. He's like, yeah, so we got to get the AC up and running and everything. He said something was wrong with the unit outside. I'm like, the AC? I'm just like, if they doing construction, they going to be hot anyway. They don't need no AC. They can let up the garage, though. I'm like, you know what? That's so inconsiderate. So I'm like, all right, let's get this Pepco turned on for them. He's like, I need you to figure out, like, the account numbers and everything and how to get that set up. And I'm like, I'm sure it's, you set it up the same way you set up the house. It's just, he's like, yeah, but it's 2 different units. I'm like, but it got the same address. I just put unit B and unit, ain't it unit B and unit D? He's like, no, it's B and C, because they right next to each other. He ain't gave me unit D yet. I'm like, wait, we getting a unit D? He was like, yeah, I'm trying to get all 3 units in the building. I'm just like, how much is that going to cost to get all 3 units in the building? He said it's only gonna be $5,000. I'm like, $5,000? You mean $5,000 as a down payment? $5,000? He's like, no, it's gonna be $5,000 a month. I'm like, I don't think we need unit D. Like, we can get away with B and C for right now. I don't want us to bite off too much, you know, more than we can chew, you know. And I feel like right now we're kind of doing that, you know, because we were supposed to start the dog breeding business, and we hadn't been, Gaia hadn't been able to conceive. Like, she have not been able to conceive, and we've tried multiple times during her heat cycle, and she's not conceiving. So I'm like, we don't even know what's going on with the dog business. And I know you said you wanted to be a dog, you know, a dog breeder. That was one of your main things. You're supposed to be playing football, be a dog breeder. So I'm like, we don't even know what's going on with that. He was like, look, right now our only focus is the gym. Like, that's it. I'm like, okay, all right, but right now I honestly feel like we need to hold off on unit D, because you gotta think, we're doing $3,500 for the rent at the gym, and we ain't even got people in that gym to cover that overhead. So we're already building overhead before like we even get it up and running. So I'm just like, we that's a lot. And then we got our house bills, you know, our $1,850 for our rent, and then the Pepco for this house, and then the car insurance, and then the car payments. And I'm like, and then I got to get new insurance because you owe Progressive. He was just like, I don't owe Progressive shit. Like, I don't understand why they didn't pay for that rental. I was like, they did pay for the rental. Like, the rental was total out. Like, by the time all the damage was assessed, it was total. So you owe $7,000 because it was total. So that's the cost of damages and the depreciation, I guess, of the car or whatever. But you owe $7,000. And I'm just like, that's on my credit because the Progressive was in my name.